All right, let's hear from Kyrie Irving talking about Jamal Murray trying to score 50 when the game was already in hand. And then we're going to argue about it.
What kind of competitor wouldn't bother? You know what I'm saying? So, I understand if we fouled him going to the free throw line. I don't want to make a big deal out of it.
Okay, let's not hear that because for some reason they decided to make the audio like 0.1 decibel, 0.0001 decibels. Kyrie Irving is mad about some basketball. God, where do I start with this? Jamal Murray scored 48 points against the Celtics the other night for the Nuggets. I was gone yesterday, so we didn't get a chance to rap about this. So, with a few seconds left, Jamal Murray tried a three-point shot. He was trying to get to 50. And Kyrie Irving, the ball came to him, buzzer sounds, he throws it into the stands. He was fined $25,000 for the NBA, and to be fair to Kyrie Irving, he said the fine was well-deserved. Didn't want to see anybody in the stands get hurt. But he said from a competition and competitive standpoint, I think it absolutely deserved to go in the stands. You just don't play basketball like that. It's as simple as that. You just don't. There's a tradition and respect within the league, as well as in any basketball game. Obviously, you've won the game. You have it sealed. You've had a great game of your life, and you do something like that. It's petty. It's immature. But we will see him again. Everyone knows the intent. Makes it clear what's going on. Obviously, I'm watching the play at the end of the game. See if he's really going to shoot the ball. That's just so thirsty of a player to go after something like that. Clearly, 50 is a big deal, but get it within regulation. Take it as a man, get your free throws, and get to 50. But you don't wait till the end of the game when everyone's not playing just to launch up a shot and then nonchalantly go like this, and he shrugged his shoulders as if it doesn't matter. So, Murray said he wasn't meaning any disrespect. He knows half of the Celtics, no hard feelings.
No, of course no hard feelings for him. No hard feelings.
In any game, said Kyrie, it's just a respect for your opponent, and I felt disrespected after the game. So your career-high ball still goes in the stands. That's a quote. All right, so instead of us doing the hot take, scream at each other thing, because I'm a little more on one side than you probably would guess, let's just establish a couple parameters. Number one, I think it's a different situation in football and basketball when time's running out than it is in baseball, for example. And baseball probably has the biggest unwritten rules about that. In baseball, there is no clock, so you can catch up down 30 runs. In basketball and football, and this isn't an opinion, these are just the facts of the situation. In football and basketball, there is a clock. So if you're down 20 with 10 seconds left, if you're down 10 with 10 seconds left, you're not winning the ballgame. You're absolutely not winning the ballgame. So it is a different situation. It is tradition that when the shot clock and the game clock, when the shot clock is going to allow the game clock to run out at the end of a game and the game is in hand, that players dribble the ball out. That is tradition. That is also a fact. And that's what irked Kyrie. But here's my problem. Here's my problem, Kyrie. First off, he did try to get the points within regulation because last time I checked, regulation is until it hits triple zeros. Should he have dribbled the ball out? Probably. But here's how you handle it. And this is where I'm curious as to your take, Kyle. This is how I feel Jordan or Kobe or Barkley or whomever would have handled it. They would have gone over there and they would have knocked his ass into the second row. They would have fouled him. Also, if I'm Kyrie Irving and I'm that upset about a guy getting 50 on my team, what I do is when the guy hits 42 or 43 and the game's in hand, I double him for the rest of the game. Guess what? You guys are going to win the game. I can't do anything about that, but I will make sure that you don't score another point in this game. We're just going to double or triple team you. You better find the open man. You're not getting 50 on me. That's another way to get it done. What you don't do, though, is toss the ball in the stands and then go passive-aggressive at the media. That's Bush League to me.
Yeah, the whole acting like I mean, what did he say at the very beginning there? He said something like, I don't really care, or something like that.
He tried to. He said that what Jamal Murray did was petty and immature.
He threw.
I know.
He threw up a shot, and I get the Celtics are mad because they just lost.
Right.
If they were winning by 25 and Murray came down and just kind of hucked up a shot at the end, no, the Celtics don't care. But they're mad because they lost this close game, and they're kind of reeling right now. And I guess I don't really. If Jamal Murray had hit that shot, okay, is anyone going, wow, Jamal Murray dropped 50 tonight? No, the talk is going to be about how Jamal Murray had to throw up a shot at the end of the game to get to 50.
But let me ask you
I don't
this.
think it would have had the desired effect.
Okay, but let me counter your point right there. In defense of Jamal Murray. This is weird. I'm defending Jamal Murray.
Yeah, this is very strange.
A year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. I read this in an article yesterday. I think it was in the Undefeated. 48's a huge amount of points.
Mm-hmm.
But 50 is far more than just 2 points more than 48. 50 that's half a century.
It's a benchmark, right?
That is a benchmark. That is a big deal. There are not a lot of players in NBA history that have scored 50 or more points. So I don't know that many people years from now when they're looking at stat, they're not going to remember that he hit that at the end of regulation.
Right.
So I get what you're saying.
That's fair. That's also fair. I try to put myself in the Celtics situation where if that guy shoots that, I wouldn't go as far as to throw a ball in the stands. It's just like you said, like next time, lock him up.
Yep.
Like make sure he doesn't go score a bunch of points on you.
Lock him up.
And to be fair to the Celtics, you said you're gonna double team him and ensure that he doesn't get another bucket. But that was a close game. They couldn't completely throw off their defense to try and stop this one guy.
Sure.
The other issue I have is Kyrie got 48 dropped on his dome. Mm-hmm. And you're the one throwing the ball in the stands? Right. Like, no, there has to be a level of respect the other way that says, hey, you know what? Dude, you killed us tonight. Like, that happens sometimes.
I'm also here for the pettiness, though.
Big time.
I'm okay with it.
I'm team. That's why I don't feel that strongly either way.
Yeah. I'm here for it because I'm here for their next matchup. They're going to play each other one more time this year unless they play in the finals, which isn't going to happen. So, and guess what? The next time they play, this is going to be a big deal. People are going to talk about it. And I'm going to be very curious when they go back to the TD Garden to see what Kyrie does or tries to do to Jamal Murray. Now, I don't endorse, when I say foul him and foul him hard, I mean foul him hard. I don't mean undercut him on the way to the hoop. I don't mean injure him. I don't mean doing anything that would put his health in danger. It's the same thing in baseball. I don't mind people throwing at a guy. I mind when people throw a guy's head. If you want to throw at a guy, please toss a 60-mile-an-hour curveball at his butt. Don't toss the 99-mile-an-hour fastball at his neck area. There's a line there. And in this situation, I think Kyrie Irving is trying to be old school, but he's doing it in a, no offense, millennial way, for lack of a better term. Old school is to feel as Kyrie felt, but old school, Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, whomever, Kobe Bryant even, they wouldn't have tossed the ball in the stands and then gone and bitched at the media. They would have gotten right in the guy's face. They would have fouled him. They would have handled their business on the floor.
Exactly. Guess what? Your career high ball goes in the stands.
Yeah, right.
Cool, man.
Or you know
what?
You know what Kyrie should have done? Is Kyrie should have grabbed the ball and then gone over to the scorer's table and grabbed a Sharpie and signed his own name. Or just put a frowny face. Here's your career high ball. I just made designs over the whole thing. Screw
you want the real millennial take here?
Yes.
Can I just get? I understand. It's a super millennial take. I think what Kyrie did was irresponsible because he's throwing that ball into the stands and you don't know who's sitting there. He could hit a child. Mm-hmm. He could hit somebody who is unable to get out of the way, a disabled person. And that is extremely dangerous what he did. Jamal Murray was just playing a sport.
Yes.
Sports aren't that important. Kyrie is now playing with people's lives.
Would you also add in that you also are mad at Jamal Murray if you're doing the millennial take? Because honestly, it's a bad thing when one person scores all the points. He should have spread it out more. Everybody should get to score points.
Yeah.
Everyone should. And they should all get
if
paid
he gets
the same.
to score 48,
yes,
everybody should get to score 48.
Thank you very much.
He took 30 shots. Everybody should have a chance to shoot 30 times.
Mm-hmm.
I contend that we split basketball games into half court with one team on each side of the court so they can take their shots at their leisure.
Rich says, in fairness to Kyrie, he wasn't trying to throw it in the stands. He was trying to throw the ball off the eastern edge of the planet. We'll take a break. 4-quarter territory is next. The Wednesday edition will delve into the NBA because we have no football till tomorrow. We didn't have any football yesterday. So we have our 8th of the season awards. 8th of the season. Don't get excited out there, partiers. The 8th of the season awards. We'll tackle MVP, rookie, surprise of the season, and we'll get a prediction from Kyle Madson tonight about the Raptors and Kings. We're back in a couple. Sports 1140 KHTK. Four down territory brought to you by Fire Wings. 21 different players to choose from. Firewings.com, just wing it. Kyle Madson, it's 4-quarter territory. Normally we do football. Usually Wednesdays we will do basketball. Kayte Christensen coming up in about 10 minutes. First quarter.
We're an eighth of the way through the NBA season,
Yeah,
so
are.
I ask you, who is your MVP so far?
It's got to be Giannis, doesn't it? I mean, at this point, you've got a combination of not just the team doing very well, also his numbers. However, I will accept biased or unbiased arguments for Steph Curry.
That's who I was. I think I'm slanted towards Giannis because he was my preseason pick, so I think I'm just going to kind of pick him throughout the year. But Steph Curry, averaging 31 points, 5 boards, and 6 assists. He's shooting 50.8% from three right now on 11 attempts a game. He's on pace to shatter his 402 three-pointers in a season mark. And it's going to be fascinating if he does that. Like, let's say he makes 430 three-pointers, but Giannis continues on the pace that he's on, and the Bucks win the East. It is going to be fascinating to see how that MVP vote shakes out.
If you were to replace Giannis Antetokounmpo with Steph Curry, and I know this isn't fair because you have to also wonder who you're replacing Giannis with in that lineup. They don't play the same. Do you think the Bucks would win more games with Steph Curry at point guard and an average player on a composed position, or with who they have right now?
I think in Bud's offense, yeah, I think they'd be fine. They would have to play a little differently, but I think Budenholzer would do a fine job of maximizing Stephen Curry's talent.
All right, so are we both going Giannis, or are you going to split Curry?
I'll split Curry for now, but Giannis is still my season pick.
Totally fair. All right, second quarter.
Second down.
Who's your rookie of the year so far?
That's who my rookie of the year is. I don't want to say. I don't want to say because I don't want to start a thing.
You can start. It's an eighth of a season. It's 10 games, 12 games.
Luka Doncic is your rookie of the year. He's your rookie of the year right now.
Yep.
But much like with the Steph Curry thing, I'll accept arguments for DeAndre Ayton. 16 points, 11 boards, just under a block per game for the Suns. That's nothing to shake a stick at. And to be honest, I think you and I both, I believe, picked Ayton as our preseason rookies of the year. Didn't we have that conversation because Doncic was he was a pretty decent-sized favorite. Doncic was a favorite. I remember you and I having a conversation like, oh, hello, DeAndre Ayton's basically 20-10.
Right.
And he's almost there right now. But I think we need to get to a point, and again, we're just an eighth of the way through the season, where Kings fans can have this conversation, and it's okay, even if you still say that if you still believe Luka would have been the better pick for the Kings, that doesn't mean you're anti-Kings or Vlade or everything and everything sucks. It's not
Right.
a black or white issue. I still believe the Kings would be better had they drafted Luka Doncic instead of Marvin Bagley. And I don't know if there's a huge argument against that. Luka would be at the 3 for the Kings right now, which is a spot of weakness for them. They have bigs, and Bagley's still coming off the bench. Now, if you want to say, okay, that's great, Dave, we thought that was going to be the case this year, how is it going to be in 2, 3, 4 years? I'm completely open to that because
Sure.
I don't know. But the idea, it seems, that Luka Doncic is like this grizzled old veteran, and Marvin Bagley is this super raw rookie. I understand the professional playing experience, but Luka Doncic won't turn 20 until the end of February. Basically, March 1st is when he turns 20. He's a baby, too, and he's putting up 20 points, 4.5 assists, and 6.5 boards a game. That's my rookie of the year so far.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. 20 points, like you said, 6.5 boards, 4 assists. He's shooting 38% from 3 on almost 7 attempts.
That's surprising.
He's been really outstanding, and again, that has zero to do with the Kings.
Absolutely zero to do with the Kings. In fact, I just looked it up right now. Marvin Bagley is 2 weeks younger than Luka Doncic. So let's stop with the whole one's much younger than the other. They're the same age.
Basically the exact same age.
Third down. Third quarter.
Third down.
Who's been your biggest surprise of this season, or what team has been your biggest surprise of this season?
Screw it. I'm just going to do it. How about your Sacramento Kings?
Yes, sir.
And that could be a surprise in the good way, a surprise in the bad way. I am a little surprised, if we're just trying to be not biased for a quick second. I did not expect the Lakers, despite the fact that they have a circus funhouse built around LeBron James, I didn't expect the Lakers to be 4-6. I also didn't expect the Utah Jazz, by the way, to be 4-6 either right now. I expected the Utah Jazz to be doing a lot of what like Milwaukee's doing right now. I expected us to have conversations at this point saying, could the Utah Jazz challenge the Warriors? That's the team they don't want to face. Yeah. I'm surprised at Toronto. We talked about that earlier, that they're this good this quick. But the Kings are 6-4, man.
I think if you handed me these standings before the season and said, this is what the standings are going to look like on November 7th, the Kings are the team I'm circling as the biggest surprise.
I think most people would.
Yeah.
You put it perfectly in that capacity. If you handed standings to somebody a month ago and they went down the list, what's the biggest surprise here? They go, oh my God, the Kings are 6-4?
Right. And my eyes, I would go directly to find the Kings, and I would go to the bottom of the page and work up.
Sure.
And the
Did they
Kings.
forget them? Where are they?
Right. So the Kings sitting at 6-4 would be my biggest surprise. The Nuggets at 9-1.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody thought the Nuggets would be good, but 9-1 is. And then the Celtics struggling a little bit at 6-4 is a little bit of a surprise too. But the Kings are by far the biggest surprise.
Fourth quarter.
Fourth down. Fourth down.
Fourth quarter, Kings, Raptors. Who you got? Go ahead.
What?
No, go ahead.
What?
What's your prediction?
Oh, gosh, let's see. I think it's going to be a fun game, back and forth, real competitive. But in the end, I'm going to go Toronto. I'm going to give Toronto the victory tonight. Toronto 225, Kings 70. A big fourth quarter for Toronto, dude. Huge fourth quarter. Like,
This 260-point fourth quarter.
well, here's the problem, because I did something like that with Milwaukee, and I was almost right. Like, if I'm almost right, if Toronto breaks 200 tonight, I'm going to stop this bit. Okay, I need to make it even. Apparently, I need to make it even crazier.
Yeah, I think you said like 151-108 against Milwaukee, and it was what 144-109 or something.
Yeah, it was
It's
a
like,
little too. It was a little too close for a comfort. Yeah, 144-109.
I like the what was the spread? 8.5.
8 to 8.5. Yeah.
So let's call it 8.5. I have the Raptors covering. Give me Toronto 131, Kings 118.
131, 118.
Yep.
Okay.
118.
The bottom line is yours and my predictions a little bit different, but we both agree take the Raptors and the points.
Yeah, I think so.
And let me just say, would love to come in tomorrow and eat crow.
I will happily do that because it would be a lot of fun.
Lot of fun to eat that. I will eat crow. I will literally. Do they
sell
sell it?
I'm gonna go to Fire Wings.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna get some.
Get some crow wings.
I'm gonna get some Malaysian curry seasoning. I'm gonna put it on that crow.
Does anybody if I wanted to eat crow on the air? Could I actually do that?
That's gross. Don't do that for sure. Don't do that.
Does anyone sell if I wanted to buy crow meat?
No, I don't think you can get crow meat.
Oh,
Mirko crow meat.
Is that a challenge? I think you can somewhere. Cornish game crows?
Probably not legally. If you go outside, get one.
Just go shoot one and bring it in.
That's got to be illegal.
What, shooting a crow?
Yeah, you can't just kill a crow, dude. You need like a hunting license. Yeah, it's illegal. I don't think you can do that. I
misfired the first one. Kayte Christensen is next. We'll have fun with her. She's a mommy. And she took her baby to practice.
Hey, let's do a bit and hope she's not listening right now. You think she's listening right now?
No.
All right, let's do a bit, and we'll just call her mom and see how long it takes her. Introduce her as Kayte Christensen, and then when we ask a question, we'll be like, so, Mom, what do you think about...
See how long it takes her to actually acknowledge that we're calling her mom?
Yeah.
So introduce her as Katie.
Yeah.
But then every time we ask a question, just say, Mom.
Just work it in. Yeah. So.
Then we have to do this over under on questions before she mentions something.
One.
Do you think on the very first one? I'm going to go with the second one. She'll think she misheard on the first one.
Okay.
We'll take a break. We'll come back.
So over under 1.5. You're going over. I'm going under.
Yeah, over under 1.5.
Send us your Jiffy Lube text line right now. Over under 1.5 questions before Katie realizes we keep calling her mom.
We'll take a break. Katie's next. Sports 1140 KHTK.
This is Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Kings are back in action tonight at the Golden One Center against the Toronto Raptors. It's the first of a 4-game homestand for your Sacramento Kings. You can hear that game right here on Sports 1140. Pre-game coverage begins at 6:30, and then tip-off is slated for 7 o'clock. The Giants have a new president of baseball operations. Farhan Zaidi, formerly of the A's and Dodgers front offices, is the new Giants president of baseball ops. He was the A's assistant GM prior to spending the last 4 years working for Dodgers president Andrew Friedman. College basketball began last night. Number 1 Kansas beat number 10 Michigan State 92-87 at the State Farm Champions Classic. And then later in the evening, number 4 Duke routed number 2 Kentucky 118-84 behind 33 points from R.J. Barrett and 28 from his fellow freshman Zion Williamson. And we got a shakeup in the college football playoff rankings. Alabama and Clemson are still the top 2 teams, but Notre Dame slid up to the number 3 spot after LSU's lost to Alabama, and Michigan took over at number 4. Georgia, Oklahoma, LSU, Washington State, West Virginia, and Ohio State round out the top 10. Those are your top stories, and now back to the drive on Sports 1140 KHTK.
It's The Drive on Sports 1140 KHTK.
We are guest-friendly in the second half of the program on a show that is flying by. I want to thank you, as always, for listening to us. You have many other choices to choose from, and we appreciate that. You can follow us and watch us on the television, too, brought to you by Jiffy Lube and the Sac Republic. Just go to KHTK.com. Top of the screen if you're on your desktop, middle of the screen if you are on phone or tablet. Kayte Christensen is ready to go. Kyle's getting her on the phone right now. Scott Bair from NBC Sports California, joining us at 8:05 to talk Raiders as he does every Wednesday. Jason Anderson will make his drive debut as the beat writer for the Sacramento Bee. We will ask Jason all kinds of things like, is Ryan Lillis really tough to work with? What's it like at the Bee? Do they still have that one coffee machine that also puts chicken soup broth out as well? Yep, it was there when I was 12. Good memory. We'll ask Jason lots of hard-hitting questions. And for reals, he'll give us or we'll ask for an update on Bogdan Bogdanovic. All guests, of course, brought to you on the Firewings hotline. 21 different flavors to choose from. Firewings.com. Just wing it from the 916. Get rid of the stupid, dumb cat noise. Nobody likes it except Dave. That's in all caps. What else? Dave wears his hat on backwards out in public. What are you, 12 years old? Yes. I have some hats that are flat-brimmed hats. I don't wear flat-brimmed hats forward, and they're created to, not be able to bend the bill, so I wear those backwards. What do you want from me? From the 801, wherever that is, if Bagley turns out to be our franchise big man, but Willie also maintains his current production, do you re-sign Willie? I don't think that Bagley can turn out to be the franchise big man until after Willie's gone. I don't think he'll get that opportunity this year for us to make that idea. But I do not, if you're asking me to bet, and every time I say this, people freak out, I don't think Willie will be back with us next year. Joining us right now, former member of The Drive and current sideline reporter for your Sacramento Kings. She's been very reclusive for some reason over the last few months. Occasional social media posts, but haven't really heard from her. She's almost become a myth, perhaps even a legend, and out of hiding. Joining us today, we're very happy to talk to her, Kayte Lauren Hunter. Wait, right? Isn't that right? Yeah. It's not. No. I know we went over this before because I still see it on your Twitter thing. You're not doing the Christensen Hunter thing, right? You're doing just Hunter.
Yeah, definitely going by Hunter, and I legally changed it months ago. I kind of on social media did the hyphenation just because there's a transition where people don't know how to find you. You know what I'm saying? And so it'll pop up. So
have you thought about calling Melissa and talking to her about the fun of a wife changing her last name when she gets married?
Well, how many years has it been, Dave?
It'll be 12 this July.
I was like, I knew it was at least 10. Yeah, and I've got some other friends that after that long haven't changed their names, and I feel like there's a breaking point, and she's already past that like years ago.
Yeah, she can't do it, can she? At this point,
I mean, it's just like there's no motivation to after a certain amount of time. So
let me ask you this: are you like Pavlov yet? Do you have an automatic reaction when you hear like that right there? Did that send did that get the mom ear moving back and forth?
You mean in terms of my name?
Oh, wait, hold on. Could she not? She can't hear that. I'm sorry. All right, well, let's try this again. Yeah, that's what I did. I played that sound for you. How much sleep did you get last night, Kayte?
I did not sleep well last night. It was not because of the baby, though. It was not because of the baby. It was because of kind of a change in. I mean, it's difficult to explain. So I'm set to return to work today. Obviously, Jade isn't 2 months old yet. She'll be 2 months old on the 14th. And I was set to return to work today because my time was up. And so I found out about 7:30 last night that is not the case. That there has been a change in the policy for maternity leave for the Kings that I wasn't informed about, where it would allow me to take until December 6th. And so I had a really rough night last night, just going back and forth over what I should do. But she was great. She was great last night. She slept. She woke up a couple times to eat, and she went right back to bed. So there's been a nice change in the last week and a half or 2 weeks where she's really starting to get things together in terms of nighttime is for sleeping.
So wait a minute. So the internal debate with yourself, and I'm sure your lovely and talented husband has a say as well, that is, do you return tonight or do you return in December?
Yeah, I mean, it is the debate. I had wanted to take more time. I had initially.
Can I weigh in?
Yeah.
I think it's important. I think it's important for me to weigh. My opinion matters.
Yeah, I mean,
yes, I need to weigh in on the family decision. Kayte, as much as I want to be selfish, and as much as Kings fans are going to hate me for this, come back in December. Yeah, you know how many times you get to have your first kid? Once.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you know things now that you didn't know a few months ago when you were carrying that baby in your tummy. And I think especially with a mom and a kid, that bonding time is amazing. And if your company, in this case the Kings, is awesome enough, which they are, to allow you that opportunity to stay at home and bond with your child, you get one opportunity to have your first kid and to learn all the things you need to learn and vice versa. And we love you and we miss you. And selfishly, I'd want you back tonight. But, man, I say you do what's best. You do what's best. You do you, kid.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's obviously what I would love to do, and I wanted to do that before I had decided to come back. And I was coming back because, my leave ran out. But, it's difficult in situations like this because I am excited to get back to work. It is a catch-22. It's a really difficult kind of a mind bender because you want to come back to work, but you really don't want to leave your baby. But the big thing is like, it's like it affects other people. It affects Jerry Reynolds, who's been filling in for me in the studio, and so I feel bad.
What else is Jerry going to do? What's he missing? What's Jerry missing? A walk? Hey, can I tell you too though? If we're always honest with each other. Here's another thing. You have been doing. I know that you took a sabbatical, much like I did. From your sideline reporting a few years ago, but remind me, or really more importantly, because I have your sideline reporter card in front of me. Remind the audience, when did you first become sideline reporter?
Gosh, I think it was 10 seasons ago. It was 10 years ago. It was
10 years ago, so that would be 08, 09?
No. It was. This must be. Yeah, I think it was 2007.
Okay.
2006, 2007, around that time.
So,
God, I'm getting old. It's hard to remember.
So Kyle, who's being extremely patient, misses you too and wants to talk. Kyle, we'll walk through this together.
Yeah.
In 07 and 08, the Sacramento Kings were 38 and 44 in Kayte's first year.
Good point.
08 and 09. They were 17 and 65. That was the Tyreek year that got that pick. Following year, they were 25 and 57. You get the point. And then,
I was trying to think honestly because of that 5-game winning streak. It was so much fun to watch.
Last year, they were 27 and 55. So I think the point is, Kayte, do you really want to come back when they're 6 and 4? We asked this question a couple weeks ago. Kyle will back me up.
Yeah.
Was Kayte Christensen and Jerry Reynolds, were they the problem?
Oh my God!
I mean,
you are too much.
Mom, I think you got to take that into account.
A 5-game win streak in the time that I've covered this team is an absolute rarity. You know what I'm saying? Like it happened the year that DeMarcus got the viral meningitis and early on, and then it, obviously we all know what happened from that point on. I want to say, and it might have happened my first year when Ron Artest was still here, but it's definitely only happened maybe a couple times in my entire career covering the Kings. And so, and that's part of the thing about coming back. It's like there's so much excitement surrounding the team. It's like you want to be a part of it. But I'm flabbergasted by the improvement from this team from last year to this year. And, I had the opportunity yesterday to go to practice and talk to a couple of the players, and it was interesting. I was asking what, about that win streak and about what you can take out of it and bring into this homestand. And I talked to Buddy and I talked to Bogey. Everyone keeps talking about De'Aaron, and there's a post-game interview on the road where Belly was also talking about De'Aaron and his leadership and kind of how he is the driving force of this team. And we're talking about a second-year player, you guys, where you've got multiple guys on this team that keep pointing to him as kind of the driving force of what's been going on. And I thought that Bogey had some really interesting points. He said he saw the change in him last year when he didn't get selected to the USA All-Star team as a rookie. And he noticed in that from that moment on, there was a change in him. And he said he feels like that is what has kind of carried over into this season, and it's culminating in this really good start to the season. Obviously, he had a triple-double the other day, and we all know what rare company he's in for a young kid his age to do it. And so it's really spectacular what they're doing, and I'm excited about the new guys. I still haven't really met Marvin Bagley. I haven't met Belly. I know Yogi Ferrell from obviously the league, but there's been some really good additions to this team, and Kings fans are excited, and rightfully so.
Kayte Hunter, sideline reporter for the Sacramento Kings, joining us on the drive. So I know you're always honest. I thought in their first 20, and I get a lot of crap for this, I thought they'd be 3-17, 6-14, right in that range. So, Mom, what did you think they'd start out in their first 10 games?
Well, Dave, you've known me forever, and we've had this fight on air a million times when we were doing a show together. I don't look at that kind of stuff. I didn't, and especially as well because I wasn't starting the season off. You know what I mean? Because I was obviously I gave birth 2 months ago.
Oh yeah.
So I hadn't really looked at the schedule and been like, I'm going to break it down into the first 20. No, I hadn't looked at it. But obviously that road trip, you look at it now and just how you kind of break it up into small sections. The schedule has been a little bit more on the favorable side in terms of opponents up to this point. I know they've been on the road a lot, which is difficult, especially for a new team and a young team. But they've answered that really well, but now they have a really difficult kind of schedule ahead of them. And then it opens up a little bit later in December. So we'll see how they handle some of these, the Torontos, the San Antonios of the world. And the Lakers obviously coming to town on Saturday. And we all know how exciting that's going to be. They're obviously not performing up to par what people expected them to be and wanted them to be with LeBron joining. So, I think the great thing about this team is that no matter what people's predictions are, I don't care who says what, no one could have predicted what they're doing right now.
Kayte Hunter with us. Will return sometime between tonight and the first week of December. So if you can narrow it down to one thing, what would you say, Mom, the biggest change has been this year that surprised you?
The pace is honestly what surprised me. I know, from Summer League and when they did the California Classic here, they played with a lot of pace and they wanted to. But I didn't really think that they could make that big of a jump from last year to this year. Usually when you start to play with pace, it's a process and you kind of have to get it ingrained in guys. But this group has really just turned on the jets because, you look at like the Lakers who so badly wanted to play with pace and have been building that way under Luke Walton, and the Kings are even above them in terms of pace to play. I think the last time I checked, they were second in the league, and I think Atlanta was first. And in order to do that, I mean, people talk about running on misses, but when a team has really made that transition into being a running team, is when they run on makes. And I have been so surprised at how proficient they are at, and it's not just, a guy or two, it's the whole team in terms of whoever's grabbing the ball directly out of the net. They're doing a quick, it's something you practice too. You do a 1-2 step out of bounds and you kind of like banana peel it so you can get going and you can run with the guy that you just passed the ball into. And they're getting up the court in 3-4 seconds and having scoring opportunities. And it puts so much pressure on defenses. And it's also something that is hard to maintain for a team, but that's, to me, the biggest surprise is how proficient they are and how they've kind of stuck with it and continued to be able to really do well with it.
We've obviously seen the Kings have so much success getting out and running, and it kind of seems like with this group that's going to be their calling card. And if they're not able to do that, we might see it hinder some of their success. Mom, do you think that this team can keep up for 82 games running at this pace?
I do, mainly because they have youth on their side, and yeah, I'm sure you saw the piece that came out yesterday on the My Teams app about Zach Randolph and kind of the mystery, if you will. I don't know how people have really been perceiving that whole situation. They haven't seen him, so on and so forth. Obviously, he was someone that started for this team last year and performed really well, but it's not the style that they want to play. And I think that right there is an indication of kind of how dedicated they are to this, because he's not playing because he's not capable of playing that type of a game. And the youth they have on their side. So I think it's going to be much easier for them to maintain it. And truly, it's interesting, too, because I feel like there's been a big jump in their defense. And it's purely based on the fact that they are able to run. They are wearing teams down. And in doing that, they're also taking different gambles. And I wouldn't say that, they're not like a huge gambles and it's completely changed, but it changes their approach to defense as well. And I think that's been the kind of exciting part to see, is how their running has positively impacted the defensive end of the court. And we all know that the defensive end of the court they desperately needed to improve on as well.
Mom, I'm sure you and I both agree that Vlade and Dave Joerger have outperformed what a lot of people maybe thought they were going to do at the beginning of the year. But if you had to choose between one or the other, which one of them, Mom, do you give more credit to this year?
Ooh, Dave, good question.
Thank you.
Dang.
Oh my God, thank you.
And I really hate to give that to you because I know what kind of a party you guys have in the studio.
You're damn right.
Like that.
Bring me the crown.
Question. You know, I'll say this. I'll give this edge slightly to Dave Joerger because Vlade's position obviously is to acquire talent. But Dave Joerger had the kind of challenge this year of completely changing styles of play. And as a coach, it's not difficult in terms of mentality. I mean, you can say that, oh, Dave Joerger's a defensive coach. No, coaches are coaches. They might have a system that they've done well under, but that generally has everything to do with the fact that they were able to identify the type of talent that they had on their team, and they played what was best to that talent. And so for Dave to see this group and say, we need to run, this is where we're going to best be suited, and to be able to completely transform their offense, their mentality. It's difficult to change the mentality. That's the hardest part. You can run, you can do that. And it's about being able to do it for 48 minutes and then for 82 games. And that, I think, is the biggest challenge. And so I give the edge slightly to Dave Joerger in this situation.
Well, Mom, we miss you. We appreciate you. And whether you come back tonight, you come back in a month, doesn't matter, Mom. Bottom line is you do you, and I hope you won't be a stranger to us.
Is that what my name is now, is Mom?
There it is. There it is. All right. I had to try to throw a few in. You know, we couldn't have you on, Kayte, without doing something. So
had to do a bit.
So before we brought you on, we set an over-under on how many times we could refer to you as Mom in the reset before you'd catch on. How do we get to 5?
We got to 8.
We
the
got
eighth
to 8.
Mom was when she finally was like,
I noticed it the first time, but you are a weird person, so I let it pass. But it's like,
Kyle
dang.
did it too. Kyle, we were both doing it.
Okay, you guys are both completely just.
Did you really
moronic.
notice? Did you notice it? Like,
Oh, I absolutely did.
why didn't you
Yeah.
say something?
Well, Dave, you know.
Or
What am I supposed to be? I'm sorry, my name's Kayte, not Mom.
I mean, you know, or are you doing the thing where you say you noticed it?
I'm going by Mama. Thank you, not Mom. So.
Well, listen, on behalf of all of us, congratulations publicly for doing the whole bringing life into the world thing, even though we know Joseph did all the work. And regardless, he got the fun part. But either way, whether we see you tonight or we see you in a month, you know how we at The Drive, our official position is on that. But either way, awesome to talk to you. And if it is a month, I hope you'll at least visit with us between now and then.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You know you can watch us on the video stream now, right?
KHTK.com.
Which, you guys, you're quite something to behold, so I can see why everyone's watching. So.
Oh, you have no idea, Kayte.
No idea.
No idea. All right, kids, say hi to the family. Kiss those chubby cheeks for me, and also kiss the baby.
Okay.
Thanks, Mom.
I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, Mom. Take care.
Kyle.
Bye. That's Kayte Christensen joining us. And obviously, we love her very, very much. We'll take a break. When we come back, we also love Scott Bair from NBC Sports California. We'll talk to him as well right here on The Drive. If you're not watching,
8 moms.
That was 8 moms. Hey, did she notice the first time? Or is she Katieing and said she noticed the first time?
I think she noticed we were saying something. I think when you dropped a couple of moms there at the end,
I made it
she
a point.
put it all together.
I was going to do a triple dip in that last
She
thing.
put it all together and they were saying mom.
Right.
So that's what I think happened.
Okay. I think she noticed like maybe on the 4th one. I don't think she noticed on the first one. We'll have to do the replay at some point. Couldn't have Kayte on without messing with her. We'll take a break. When we come back, Scott Bair will join us. If you're not watching on the TV, by the way, for that segment, you're missing out, and you'll just have to deal with it. Sports 1140 KHTK.